A year ago, Virgin Active introduced the Grid Games, in which gym members from around the world competed against one another in a wide range of physical activities. South Africa's qualifiers had to go through the regional competitions in KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng and the Western Cape, with the top performers graduating to take on athletes from around the world in the finals in Cape Town. Kiri Hannan, the head of programs design and innovation for Virgin Active South Africa, explains more.
So this time last year we were here, I put it out on camera and said, hey guys, we're going to come back next year, bigger, better, we're going to go global. So I think at the tail end of last year, maybe September, I had an opportunity to talk to all of our territories and say, look, Grid Games, kind of worked last year, who's in? And 6 territories all put their hands up and said, we're in. And you know, lo and behold, we're here. But let me tell you, 30,000 members all did a 4-minute test. A 4-minute test that takes us through push, pull, squat, lunge, bend, twist, and locomotion, our primary movement patterns. And what I love about that is anybody can do it. My mum can do it, you can do it, I can do it, anybody can do it. With the finals, we've loaded that movement. These guys are athletes. I mean, it came down to top man, top woman across the world. 30,000 people, so we're kind of super stoked. But there's people, I think the true spirit of Virgin Active, and it sounds a bit cliche, but the family, the tribe, the community is what I loved, you know? So we've had the Australian guys over, Singapore, Thailand, UK, Australia, Italy, and the South Africans. Everyone mixing together. Yes, competitive. Yes, humans. Yes, Virgin Active members with a heart and with a purpose and a reason and a why, which I think is really important when you're taking it to this level.
The Grid was launched by Virgin Active in March 2015 as a cutting-edge movement-based program focusing on primal movement skills, including push, pull, squat, lunge, bend and twist. It's run as a group exercise class across all Virgin territories and remains extremely popular, with over 6,600 classes a month and almost 80,000 members attending the classes. Following the success of the first year's Grid Games, not many changes were needed, but as an innovative company always looking to improve the way they do things, Virgin Active made a few alterations to some of the exercises the athletes were required to do.
Yeah, so we changed some of the activities. We just felt last year the row was 750 metres. We brought it to 500 metres just to make it a little bit more interesting, not only to watch, but to change that dynamic. You've got to step up a gear. It's not an 800 metre run. It's not a 400 metre run. It's kind of in between. It was that kind of mentality. It's like it's not a sprint, but it's not steady. So I think that caught a few of the guys out that were here last year. We loaded a little bit more weight, but we changed the surface, which was required, and we put a static lunge, so you get onto the box and lunge down, which is quite interesting. We took away a movement standard, so we didn't really require people to extend and flex at the knee joint too much. So most people just went into a static contraction in their quads, and we saw that on the skill mill. Fatigue, our enemy, kind of kicked in, lactic acid, and you could see that most people's legs felt like they belonged to either me or Siv.
Take the body's primal movements, up the intensity and mix it all together with a healthy dose of nail-biting competition. Grid Games is designed to push the competitors to their limits. It sounds tough, and it is. The basis of Grid Games is functional training, which is offered at all the Virgin Active gyms around the country. Functional training is doing exercises that prepare the body for activities performed in everyday life. The obvious success of the Grid Games concept is very pleasing for Kiri Hannan.
Yeah, look, I'm absolutely stoked, and also it's, you know, for me it's been a journey that we've been on. I think 2014, everybody in the world was creating gym floor functional training experiences. You know, with not being arrogant, but we felt we wanted to kind of have a space that was proprietary and ours. And some of our clever people in brand came up with a thought process of a floor with a grid. I came up with some programming behind it, some principles behind it. And that's what I love about it, and I come back to it again. Anybody can do this. Monday night, 6 o'clock in the world, doesn't matter where you are, we will push, pull, squat, lunge, bend, twist. And that's the vein that runs through the product. And if you want to be a bit more competitive, you can do the games, and if you want to do the regionals, and then obviously it gets ramped up. I know my mum wouldn't be doing this, but she would understand the principles, and I love that.
Over 20,000 members from the UK, Australia, Singapore, Thailand, South Africa and Italy competed in the challenge in their clubs, with the top male and female members from each club going through to the regional games, where they again completed the same protocol against winners from other clubs. The high-intensity competition then resulted in 3 winning male and 3 winning female competitors earning their place in the Grid Games finals. They took place at the Canal Walk in Cape Town, where the 40 qualifying athletes from 6 territories went head-to-head. The exercises they had to do were a 500-metre row, a 10-metre tyre flip, a 10-metre tyre carry, a 10-metre sled pull, a sprint to power bag, floor to hip lunges with a bag, run to skill mill, a 400-metre sprint, the pickup and power bag, and a final sprint to finish. Megan Fall won the title in 2018 in the women's competition. She made it 2 in a row in 2019. And she says the changes this year made the games that much more challenging.
So this year was like more of a sprint. Because it was shorter, you had to push harder. And that was... So the 750-metre row to a 500-metre row made it so much more... You would think it would make it easier, but it's so much more difficult because now it's a sprint from start to end. It's not an endurance race anymore, it's now a sprint.
Megan is from Kempton Park in Gauteng and competes regularly in gym-related competitions. However, she still found the Grid Games finals really tough. The fact that she was the defending champion made the event all the more challenging for her.
It's stressful. There's a lot of pressure, especially because I won last year. There's a lot of pressure, but it's how you handle that pressure, and I think I did that okay.
Megan's path to the title was anything but smooth. She managed to beat her rivals in the regional, national and international competitions, despite having to recover from a serious injury shortly before the regional qualifiers began.
I did a squat clean and I broke my wrist, and my ulnar broke. So when it happened, it was a big mental game because I knew that I had Grid Games regionals coming up and I hadn't even qualified for this yet. So it was a big mental game and it knocked me. And then I said to myself, no, you need to get up, you need to work, and you need to show them. And that's exactly what I came and I did.
A wrist injury is potentially devastating for most athletes, as so many of the exercises in Grid Games are dependent on using one or both arms. So how did Megan manage to prepare for this year's Grid Games?
So what I did was I did adaptive training, and I would do one-arm burpees, one-arm rowing. I'd keep my fitness there, and then on the day I just introduced this arm and I smacked it.
The men's winner was Jaden Scholes from Gauteng, who showed strength, tenacity, power and speed in superb fashion to see off his rivals. He was naturally very chuffed with his achievement.
Yeah, really awesome. Just such an awesome experience. And yeah, just so grateful to God, met some incredible people. And yeah, it was just really, really cool.
For most athletes, just qualifying and taking part in the Grid Games is an achievement in itself, let alone going on to win it outright. So where and how did it all start for Jaden?
Yeah, so I'm really good friends with the sports massage therapist, and we get along very well, and she's gave me a nudge and said, why don't you give it a go? So I said, okay, and yeah, that was that.
With the incredible success of the Grid Games in such a short space of time, what does the future hold for the Virgin Active Grid Games global event?
Well, we're only in 6 countries, but maybe Australia, so hopefully I'll go across as the MC, who knows. But what I love is to actually get more penetration at club level. We have 30,000 people, sounds like a lot, we've got a lot of members. So, get more people. I think when people see this, they think that's what they're going to do. But ultimately, they'll be squatting for 20 seconds and they'll get timed and they'll do 7 other exercises. So it's very achievable. It's a 4-minute test at a club with one of your instructors, a friendly face, someone you know. Get involved, get engaged, and just have fun. That's what we're about as a brand. We're about making fitness fun, and I think the purpose and the why is key for me as well. Have a reason, whether it's just to sit down, stand up better, play with the kids better, run a marathon better, ride a bike better, it doesn't matter. Just have a reason and a purpose, set yourself some small goals, don't take life too seriously, have fun, enjoy it, and peace.
The Virgin Active Grid Games 2019 were once more a roaring success. Congratulations to all the competitors who qualified, and particularly to the overall winners, Jaden Scholes and Megan Fall.